and go to our first segment of the show. Wait one picking minute with Vaughn Dalzell, brought to you by SATX Rated, where you can find the latest and greatest info on the Alamo City. Follow them on social media today. Take it away, Vaughn.
Yeah, so I got 3 bets for you guys. I definitely want to hear everyone's opinions and if you guys like them or not. One may be a guy that Steve may hate on. It's going to be Le'Veon Bell. Obviously, he had the worst career year he's ever had last year, but the odds makers have him at 1,299.5 yards, rushing and receiving. That's 50 yards less than what he had last year, with no help, offensive line, no quarterback play. That team definitely revamped a little bit on offense. I like Le'Veon Bell to get the touches there. He's had over 300 touches in 4 out of 6 seasons. One season he only played 6 games. The other one he had 299 touches. So he gets the ball enough. I think he's definitely going to reach his totals this year. And as a I own his jersey, being a Steelers fan. It's the only Steelers jersey I still own. So I do love Le'Veon. I think he's going to have a big year coming off what was it embarrassing for him playing for that contract or waiting out for that contract and getting with the Jets. So definitely Le'Veon Bell's over this year. I got the Packers over 9 wins. We all picked them to win the division. If that's a bet that we're all taking, then you got to figure they're going to win 9 games or more. In that NFC North, there's not much going on with Minnesota losing Diggs and their head coach, so you got to figure the Packers are still the runaway, and they won way more games than 9 last year. And then with the last bet, I was trying to think of something really juicy for you guys. So this is what I came up with. The team with the worst record in 2020. Now, there's great lines on this. I'm taking the Washington Redskins at plus 600. So if you threw $100 down on that, that's $600 back in your pocket on the Redskins. I think that's a pretty solid bet. The only team with better odds than them is the Jaguars to be a worse team. But I do think the Jaguars could probably squeeze out a couple more wins, and I did have the Jags going 4-12 compared to the 2-14 Redskins. So I think that's a juicy one. You could definitely find a couple bets like that are in your wheelhouse. But you could also get great odds on Super Bowl teams like the Chiefs and the Ravens for the same odds. So
yeah. Wait one picking minute. We ain't going anywhere, folks. Let's talk about and dissect that. So let's talk about the first one with Le'Veon Bell. The Frank Gore signing doesn't scare you at all, Vaughn, touch-wise?
So I actually have an article coming out on Friday. It's about his rushing and his touchdown prop. They're only giving him 6.5 touchdowns. So Bell only has to score 7 touchdowns in the whole season. Last year he scored 4. And now with Frank Gore had 11 goal line carries last year. Bell only had 4 goal line carries. 4 goal line carries on the whole year. That's terrible for a 6'1", 230-pound back that runs a 4.445. So I'm not totally invested in his touchdown total. I'd much rather put my money on Bell's yardage in hopes that he's going to get those 300 touches and have a little bit better season than he did last year. But, 7 touchdowns isn't a lot for Le'Veon Bell at all. But given what the Jets can do, and they pass the ball 33 times, I believe, when Sam Darnold played last year, 33 times a game. So I think that Le'Veon Bell is going to get a lot of touches out the backfield as well, catching.
Now, when you think about the Green Bay Packers, you think obviously Aaron Rodgers, that gets you wins, but as of late, it hasn't been a guaranteed scenario, and his clash with the head coach doesn't cause any concern that they may be in a little bit of a bad place come the end of the year. 9 wins.
It's all perception and what you think, everyone's opinion at this point. No one really knows what's going on between the two. Obviously, it looks like they're looking towards the future of the way they drafted because we've all been talking about it for how long. Yeah. So, but you got to figure the team was so good last year. They didn't lose that many pieces. The teams around them lost more pieces than they did, and they still returned arguably the top 5 quarterback in the league and easily the best in the division. And like I said, it's Minnesota, the only team that's challenging them. I'm not ready to put all my eggs in Detroit or Chicago, but you got to figure if Green Bay wins a division, they'll win more than 9 games, and it's plus 100. So whatever you put in, you get back.
Yeah, and Chicago finally got a starting quarterback in Nick Foles, right? So you got to think there's something though. Now, what about all the rumors of Aaron Rodgers to New England, Steve?
Hey, to be honest, if Aaron Rodgers signed here, I'd take it. I'd probably stop hating him. Nah, I don't know if we could do that. I feel like there was someone who wore 12 that might get it retired. I can't place the name at this time.
I can't think. I don't know. For some reason, Tampa Bay's in my head. So Vaughn, last one for you, bud. So you thinking about the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes? Everybody thinks what are the bottom 3 teams, the pit teams you think will be vying for that Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure the Redskins are going to be on. Ron Rivera's probably not in love with Dwayne Haskins coming in and getting a quarterback that's already been there. He doesn't get the guy he wants. So you got to figure they're a team that's definitely going to jump in and go for that. Jacksonville's another team that's going to be terrible this year, and you see them quitting a lot. A lot of the players getting traded too. So they got Minshew. We were big Minshew fans during last year, so let's see what happens with that. But other than that, I mean, it's going to be, maybe the Carolina Panthers are another team we're talking about. The Giants have been the worst record over the last 3 years, but are they going to pass on Daniel Jones and go with Trevor Lawrence? So it's really all signs point to the Redskins, in my opinion, unless we see a team just totally drop off the face of the earth. And I don't really know who that could be. The Texans, and they trade Deshaun Watson to New England or something. I don't know. I'm just here for the fun.
Well, let's do one more group discussion on this. So terrible review here. Ron Rivera versus the Carolina Panthers towards the end of the season. I think it's a Week 16 matchup. Who wins that game?
I got the Redskins.
Carolina.
Redskins. Carolina. What do you guys got?
Carolina.
Redskins.
Cade?
That's racist.
Carolina.
You can't say that.
I think Carolina is going to be the worst team in the league this year.
I have them at 1-15 myself. Let's end the first segment on that note. And thank you, Vaughn, for completing your first segment there. That's one pick in minute with Vaughn Dalzell.